Yo, welcome back to my channel. I don't know how to I don't know how to start this. Got a haircut, pretty cool. I look the same as ever, aka a goblin. The most chopped human being to ever exist. Oh, great. Anywho, it's been a couple days. I've been to the doctor's office a lot. I've been in pain. I still can't sit down. Well, I can, but it's not. I was like, my blood was drawn multiple times. I'm running out of blood to give. Um, I was given a shot. Luckily, I've been getting better. I've made progress, I guess, when it comes to my education. I've been running out of things to upload. But anyway, I've made giant leaps. I was reclassified, so that's nice. I'm no longer in ELD classes, so that's fun. Or so I no longer have to take things like LPAC or like anything like that. Hopefully, praying to the Lord Almighty. I don't know what else to talk about. I guess I can tell y'all where I've been. Well, I say y'all since I have an audience. I don't. Which I'm fine with. I'm not here for to get famous. I'm just here to do things. Provide entertainment. Provide something for people to watch. And I hope that I do enough of that. So I've been to the doctors more times than I can count. Getting my blood drawn. I got a shot right here. A lot of blood fell out. Crazy. Well, not a lot of blood, but it's a very painful shot. I'm now drinking medicine. Pain medicine, ibuprofen, every 8 hours. Actually, what time is it? I should check the time. Luckily, this still works. Cat! Hold on, give me a moment. Yeah, my bag. I got food. Also, that's something you'll see me occasionally do is eat. Don't judge me. Alright? I'm a hungry guy. Yes, it's because I'm fat. I'll own it with pride. I'll say it. Well, I guess ow. The pain tends to spike every once in a while, so, that's fun. Now, my question is, do I finish eating these tacos? Or do I go drink my medicine now? I'll go drink my medicine. I'll be right back, y'all. Just stay here. I hope that this phone doesn't turn off, because once it does, I still don't know how to edit it. So I've had multiple takes of me recording a video only for it to be ended shortly by an interruption. Then eventually I'd make the mistake of checking the time or turning off my phone, and I have to do the recording all over again, and it sucks. I'll be right back. I'll just go get medicine. I'm feeling a lot more better. Now you may be asking, Anthony, if you don't know how to edit, how are there cuts in between your videos? Well, you see, when recording on my phone, I'm able to pause the recording, which is why there are cuts. And that's how I edit. So if I ever record a video, if I ever record a video and I put something in there that I don't like, I've got to delete the video and redo the whole entire recording. So yeah, that's nice. Ow. I don't know what else to talk about. It's very hard to do these kinds of videos. I wish I could go back to, like, doing gaming challenges, but I can't do that until my pain is gone. Well, I can. It's just I gotta bear through the pain. I guess I can tell y'all something. I used to have a lot of pets growing up. I say I, but more like shared pets. The first pet we ever had was a Chihuahua. Yeah, very stereotypical from a Hispanic family. Our dad got him for us. Well, technically for my sister, but we shared him. We named him Robin. I don't remember why, I just know we named him Robin. One day, he escaped. We have a, how do I not give too much away? Our grandpa was working on a fence to keep him inside. We have a fence. That's all I'll say. It was being fixed by my grandpa. And eventually, he escaped because, well, he's a Chihuahua, very small dogs, through a crack around the fence. Now there have been multiple times where he has escaped, but we were able to get him back. Last time he escaped, well, was the time he never came back, or we were unable to get him back. Very sad day. We were very young when we lost him. He's probably still out there. Or probably not. Next, the lone survivor and his partner in crime, question mark? Oh. We, I think I mentioned this once. We have a pet bird. There's hair on my taco. Well, that's just disgusting. Anywho. I think I mentioned this once, but we have a bird basically, who just likes to chill. Um, as his name suggests, he is gray. Pure gray bird. I'll next video I'll show him on camera if I can. He's pretty chill. He's the lone survivor, the only pet we've had who's still with us to this day. Knock on wood, real quick, just in case. He had a friend in him in the cage. It was a female bird. Gray is a male. Flower is a female. You call her Flower because she was multicolored. Yellow, white, red cheeks. We called her Flower because all the colors on her, she was multicolored, and all the colors reminded us of a flower. Yellow for was it daisies? Red for rose. White for dandelion / flower. It's like the thing used to make bread. She didn't last long. You see, we used to leave the birds outside and let them sleep. There was a possum in our back, and where we left them outside. The next morning, we found her missing a whole chunk of her leg, blood on her. Now, there was a chance that she would live after that day, but leaving it alive would cause it to suffer, and we didn't want that, so she was put down. There's this thing called the flea market. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. They sell really like cheap stuff. So cheap, in fact, that it's somewhat of a scam, really. Not like something I never understood about flea markets. I'm gonna get on a side tangent here. Give me a moment. One thing I never understood about the flea market is that they're known for selling movies. And the thing I never understood, right? Because whenever we watched any of those movies, it's always like, do not pirate these movies. And we're over here like, but that makes no sense. If you know, you know. I'm not snitching on a flea market. Because those places are cool. Anywho, they're also known for selling a lot of animals. And that's where we got a yellow duck. Now this one died, obviously. Due to suffocation. So, I had a blanket, right? Not this one, a different blanket. That was used to basically like cover the little duck's box. He was kept in a box, right? See, the problem is the blanket would, one, block the air from going into the box, and 2, I think he also died of just like not being in the sun a lot. The poor thing didn't make it that far. After this video is over, Peter's probably gonna come after me. What a joke. Anywho, I was talking about Peter when I said that, by the way. I don't know where else to take this, really. We had 2 other pets, but after that, I became detached. They were turtles. I don't think this video was enough about pets to be titled the pets I've had over the years. I just titled this as Let's Talk number 2. Well, more like the number symbol. Also, by the way, what's the difference between the numbers? What's the difference between the number symbol and a hashtag? Because they're both the same. Like, for those who don't know, a number symbol is like when you... How do I explain this in a way that I understand, that you can also understand? It's basically like... It's a substitute for the word number. So instead of writing the whole entire word like number 2, instead it's like symbol and then 2. I never understood, by the way, another tangent I'm gonna go on. I never understood the reason for math or for English, because it's like they teach you this stuff, right? But some of it is useless unless you're going into a specific field that requires you to know that stuff, which college already teaches you anyway. It's like, why prepare us for college if college prepares us for a job, you know? Like, instead of learning advanced math in high school, why not learn advanced math in college? Like, not everyone's jobs are gonna be, require you to do rocket science or make a whole entire paragraph. Like, I know things have to, like, you keep things professional, but I'm willing to bet my non-existent money that businesses do not care about you using a semicolon correctly. Let's also not forget the fact that getting a college degree doesn't necessarily guarantee having a job or getting said job that you've been training all your years for. And the fact that AI is not also like, it's making it worse, right? How do I say this without angering people? I don't absolutely hate AI. I don't like, because I, for one, understand why people hate it. I understand why people don't like it. I'm not saying I like it either. I don't like AI, but I don't hate it. It's more of a meh on me. It's more of a like, yeah, it's done these horrible things, but also AI is being used in a lot of good ways, and maybe could possibly become smart enough to even figure out a cure to cancer. To be fair though, not like they'd give that out willy-nilly, now would they? As someone who can't draw, I will say this, so I don't get the art community angry at me, alright? I will say this. As someone, you haven't seen him yet. As someone who can only draw heads, as someone whose drawings are so bad you may think a kindergartner may have drew them, can tell you if you use AI to draw for you, you are a loser. That's all I wanted to say. Cause I don't know how to draw. I can't draw for anything. Okay, you could hold a gun up to my head and tell me to draw to save my life. Draw the best drawing you can. Draw something, and if it's good, I'll let you live. I cannot draw to save my life. However, things fell off. I myself don't know how to draw. I've been trying to teach myself, but I'm gonna be honest. I always get the proportions wrong when it comes to drawing a body, which is why I always do the head. Using AI to like generate prompts for you sucks. It does, because it limits your imagination. It does. As someone who is very filled with imagination, but has some in here, not a lot, but some, can tell you AI is horrible. But my opinion on it doesn't really matter because it doesn't affect me personally. However, I will say I don't like AI. Only when it's done or used for good things. However, when it's used to replace people and basically get rid of jobs so that way, you know, corporations, so on and so forth, blah, 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 then at that point, yes, I do hate AI. But when it comes to, like, AI in general, I don't hate it, because it can be used to do some good. However, the way people are using it is more of a bad thing. And the way people program it, it's not really a trustworthy source. And for people who don't like AI or anything like that, there's nothing they can do to stop it from happening, really. Like, a lot of people hate AI to the point where I think people have deleted Google because Google has an AI overview that you can't really get rid of. And when it comes to here on YouTube as well, they have these things called Gemini. They got Gemini, which basically summarizes videos and answers questions to the best of its abilities. As long as AI isn't like used to harm other people's like livelihood, I think it can be used for good. I am an optimist at heart. I will always be an optimist at heart. As much as I can't be an optimist nowadays, especially since I grew up being an optimist, but as years went on, I saw the horribles of the world, the negativity, the hate, all of that, making me less and less of an optimist, but I'm still an optimist at heart. I can still see some good that can come out of something really bad. Now, there's a difference between corporate AI and AI. I think corporate AI is what you should hate more than AI itself. Because corporate AI is AI which is used to sorry, I didn't mean the air quotes, used to improve movies, improve video games, improve acting, improve drawings, renders, everything else. Animation, even. And that's where I think we've gone off the deep end. Now, I don't like talking about a lot of things. My channel here is a safe space for everyone and everything. At least I try to make it that way. While I have my own views, my own opinions, I try my best to keep it a space for everyone to enjoy and watch. People of all races, people of all genders, people of all religion, which is why I do random things and don't stick to one thing. But there's always certain topics I will avoid, especially popular topics. When it comes to like talking about AI, when it comes to talking about anything else, politics, I will stay out of it for as long as I can. Because one, I'm not giving you my opinion. Two, this is a safe space for anyone and anything. Even bots themselves. I want to try to at least make a space that isn't about fighting each other. Which is why I do random things. I do religious videos for people who are religious themselves, or a part of my religion, or just want to learn more about my religion in general. I make other stuff for people who aren't religious or aren't really religious and don't want to watch that kind of stuff. But I will never ever go into something like politics. And when it comes to like something like AI, I'll also try to steer clear. When it comes to popular topics, I'll also stay out of it. Drama, anything like that, I'll stay out of it because I don't want. Okay. I view it like this. Most YouTubers, not all of them, most, pursue drama, talk about drama, or talk about politics or something like that as a way to get up in views, right? That's how I view it, at least. That's my own personal opinion. I will never. The Stranger Things, my opinion on Stranger Things was a one-of-a-kind video. If I ever talk about my opinion on something that is popular, I will wait until it's no longer popular to talk about and then give my 2 cents about it. I'll usually talk about shows, not very popular shows, but shows nonetheless. Because I feel that if I do upload on something, especially while doing this during the Stranger Things thing, because I wanted to talk about something I personally liked since the beginning, but I felt while recording that, while it was uploading that, I was doing it just for the views. I wasn't, but it was a very popular topic, and I wanted to talk about it. I again, want to stay out of a lot of things. There'll be special occasions when I talk about my opinions, my personality, the way I act, the way I talk, the way I am. But those are for like videos like these where I just talk about my life when I talk about certain stuff. I don't really have titles for these videos, but I do have something to talk about. But I'll always avoid that kind of stuff because I do not want to upset people, I guess. You know, some person's opinions, I see it like this. If you push YouTubers to talk about their opinions, you shouldn't. Because at the end of the day, you're not gonna like their answer, no matter what side of the political spectrum you are. I feel like when it comes to talking about politics, that YouTubers should at least not stay out of it, but only talk about things that, like for an example, right? Instead of giving your opinion on this political person or for an example, your opinion on the president or your opinion on what's their name, governor or mayor or something like that, right? Instead of saying, oh, I absolutely dislike this guy, or oh, I absolutely like this guy, so which is why I'll portray him in this light, If you're going to talk about politics, talk about the bad things. Like, for an example, let's say I were to talk about politics. I would, for one, target every person who says they're religious and tell you why they're not and why they're lying their heads off of it. Because that is my thing. Claiming to be religious, but you're not actually religious. I will give you my opinion on why what they're doing is bad, but not really like say how I feel about hate the sin, not the sinner, basically, is the best way I can describe it. Judge what they do, hate what they do, but don't hate the person. This is how I'll put it. I know that's like kind of a controversial view of like anything really, but that's just my view. I am, after all, a religious person in my life. Everything I've lived, someone's perspective, someone's view on something always reflects on how they've lived, on how they've acted their whole entire life, on their views and stuff like that. And I want, I guess, for this YouTube channel to reflect me as a person. Which is why I'll do my best to be the best version of myself, or I guess talk about things that aren't really important. The closest thing you'll ever get to me talking about politics is the fact that Xbox should have won the console wars. Don't scream at me. Don't scream at me. Listen here, you PS5. Listen to me. Listen to me. Just because these aren't straight doesn't mean it's a bad console. As someone who has played on both consoles and have held a PS4 controller and an Xbox One controller can tell you, An Xbox controller feels a lot more better. I know Xbox is like dead in the gutter and has basically lost the war. The console wars, I know that. But I'll still stand by it. I'll always stand with Xbox because it's like, because you could say nostalgia. I don't care. I don't care. Okay? So what? Alright? So what? Alright? My favoritism is based on something I grew up with. So what? Everyone is. What's your point? Why do you like the PS4 so much, huh? Is it because you grew up on it, or is it because of something else? Hmm? Hmm? I ask you that. Hmm? I ask you that. Sure, my opinion is based on nostalgia, but remember, I despise the Wii, and I grew up on the Wii. I grew up on the Wii. Okay, I have my problems with the remote. Two, the remote. That's it. That's all I dislike about it. Other than that, the Wii's a pretty good console, but I still don't like it. And I grew up with that first. That was my first ever console. So you can call favoritism and nostalgia for all I care, but remember, the Wii is the first console I ever grew up with, and I'm showing no favoritism whatsoever. I may like it, but the only reason people like to talk about it and people like to like put it on like a throne or something like that is because of nostalgia only. Same with the GameCube. Same with the GameCube. I know these are like controversial takes, but have you seen their controller? It sucks. Other than that, though, I like the console. Console's pretty good. The controller is the only thing I have a problem with. That's it. That's it. Alright? Listen to me. Listen to me now. Although it sucks. I'll give you PS4 and PS5 players the upper hand, because even if Xbox didn't die off, if the company didn't lose the war, I'll give you the fact that you have better exclusives. Okay, I'll give you that. You have better exclusives. You've got God of War. You've got Spider-Man. You've got other famous games that I can't really remember at the top of my head, but you've got a lot of good exclusives. I'll give you that. And I feel the only reason that Xbox lost the war was because it gave Halo away. It's only really good exclusive. And was like, anyone can use it, which, sure, in the long run was somewhat of a good idea, but now what do you have to call your own Xbox, you know? I don't know, I feel like a lot of us console players can agree on one thing. Paying for a game, a multiplayer online game, and having to pay for a membership so that way you can play that game online sucks. I think that's something I and any other console player can agree on, which is the PS4 and Xbox. All of us can agree on one thing and one thing only, right? It's the fact that requiring a membership to play online games sucks. PC doesn't have to deal with that. PC gamers don't have to deal with that. We console players do, though, and that's something we can agree on. I hope that having to pay for a membership, that having to be subscribed to a membership to play online games sucks. I hope that's at least something we can agree on. Same with the Nintendo Switch players, which, yeah, I do have a Nintendo Switch. I got it back when it was, like, popular. during Christmas. It was a gift from my dad. Pretty cool. Pretty cool console when, it's not like, I don't know, any other problem. Because, like, yeah, no, people are right. The Nintendo Switch kind of sucks. Like, no hate towards, like, Nintendo as a company. It's just, why are graphics so bad? Why do I lag so much? Why is stick drift so easy to get on a Nintendo Switch console? Why are the controllers so fragile? I don't understand. Let me turn that off. Like, as a concept, it's pretty neat, but then you realize it's horrible. Because the Nintendo Switch doesn't have a lot of good things compared to, I don't know, any other console. I don't even think the Nintendo Switch, even when it did drop and it was famous, I don't think it was ever in the talk or in the run for a winner of the console wars. I feel like the GameCube had a better chance of still winning the console wars than the Nintendo Switch. That's something I heavily believe in. One, their exclusives are a bit far in between, while with Xbox and PS, they have at least good runner-ups, or at least good gaming things. With a Nintendo Switch, while it's portable, yes, it sucks. I'll be the first one to say this here. Even without the Nintendo Switch 2, the Nintendo Switch by itself kind of sucks. For one, its battery life is nothing. It's literally nothing. I can play on this Switch for 2 minutes. Like, the only good exclusives that Nintendo has are Mario Kart or Mario Party. Or just any Mario game. But, like, at the same time, those exclusives are sometimes either 1, pricey, 2, boring, 3, have horrible minigames, 4, have horrible maps, 5, have horrible items, so on and so forth. Worst part is, right? Again, no hate to, like, the Nintendo company in general, but, like, why? 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 To give you a frame of reference, I have thrown this controller like at least 10 times in my whole entire life. And it's fine. I haven't had that controller for that long. I've had controllers that I've absolutely messed up because I was a kid. But those controllers at least lasted for more than a week. These controllers are fragile, and whenever you buy a new Joy-Con, there's always something wrong. For me, what's wrong with mine is the fact that it will just disconnect from time to time. For an example, I would be, y'all see it, right? So, I would be playing, right? Not this thing. And the one that has this problem the most is the blue one. Let me get it out of here. So, I would be playing on this, right? It would be connected to the Switch. And then, out of nowhere, the blue controller would either 1, turn off somehow, or 2, somehow disconnect from the Nintendo Switch entirely. Like, the Nintendo Switch, I don't know how it works, but it basically, whenever you slide in a Joy-Con, the Nintendo Switch processes the fact that you slid it in, right? Apparently, with the controller, or a Nintendo Switch problem, basically, from time to time, it will register the blue Joy-Con as not attached to the Switch, but instead detached, even though it's not detached. So I would have to take it off, detach it, and then bring it back down. And sometimes that doesn't even work. I have to do it multiple times, and eventually by that time I've lost whatever I was doing. I've lost anything. And it sucks. It does. It does. It sucks to deal with. But other than that, it's like, it gets worse. Like, I don't think the Nintendo Switch would ever be a contender. Xbox is a better contender, and it's dead. It's that show horse has gone. No longer a part of the console wars, but it still has a better chance to win than the Nintendo Switch, especially Nintendo Switch 2. Not only did it release the console, but there's barely any games for that one. Unless you want to play the old, same boring games, or the 2 new games they've released. Which, by the way, they've only released 2 games for that console alone, I believe, in this day and age. Which is something I'll never understand, why there's always like, we're going to make a new console, but hear us out. There will be no games for this console until years and years and years and years. So, you better enjoy replaying the same game. And a lot of Nintendo Switch games don't have a lot of replayability. Unless it's a game like, for an example, one of their exclusives like Mario Party or Mario Kart. But even then, at some point, you'll at least get bored of it. Other than that, most of its other games don't have replayability. Like, I think you'd only really play Mario 3D World once, and then never touch it again until you feel like it. You only touch like, what's it? Mario, New Super Mario game, and then finish it, and then what? You replay it again? There's only so much you can do in one game before you get bored of it. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving a little too much like hate towards Nintendo Switch console, but it's like, from time to time, there isn't really a lot to do there. You'd have a lot more fun playing tic-tac-toe by yourself or reading a book. But like, I don't have a lot of spite, because it's like, at this point I've learned, because come close. I grew up. I'm here. But like, we're a family that can't, like, having something like an Xbox is a privilege in this household. Kind of. We're not that broke, but you know. It's like, you learn, when you grow up with my, like, kind of, like, life, you learn to appreciate what you have, so I don't have, like, a lot of hate, because at least I have something, you know? And I appreciate it, it's just, that's not gonna stop me from complaining. This video's been going on for far too long. I'm making this an hour-long video. What else do I want to talk about? I think I've made this long enough. This is almost an hour. by the way, before I end this video, if you want to wonder how I've been able to almost talk to myself for almost an hour, I'm used to talking to myself a lot. I talk to myself way too much. A lot of people see it as psychotic, as me being a lunatic, schizophrenic even. I I like talking to myself. I'm I guess you could say weird. But yeah, one final thing before I broadcast this off because I've been going on for far too long. I will add a bit of flair to my videos to see what would happen. By that I mean, this is something I'll do in the future once all of the team has finally meted and are a part of the team, where basically my characters will interrupt me while I'm having a conversation with y'all or just doing anything, because I find that fun, you know? Like, I could imagine being like, so, I'm about to tell you about how you ended up losing to a child in a video game, or how you ended up losing a toy. That'll basically be like something like that, but just to see if maybe that I would find that a bit more fun than just, conversating, adding a bit of lightheartedness to my videos. Also, I saw somewhere on the internet where someone was like, making content about like talking into a camera for multiple minutes straight is just the most easy kind of content to make. So I'm like, all right, bet I'll put some effort into it. Other than that, though, I'll see y'all when I see y'all. I'll hibernate for the next couple of years. I'm joking. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully, if I have something to do. Maybe I'll bear through the pain and upload the next thing I'll be doing. But other than that, have a spectacular rest of your day, a wonderful night, depending on the time of, your time zone or anything like that. I'll see ya. Peace.